If you follow some of these television programs, in particular, I'm talking about Bill Maher, that number of the years ago, like 25, 30 years ago, he's still on HBO and doing some programs, some of them fantastic, some of them I don't like, some of them I disagree with, some of them I agree with. But back then, he was doing a number of the satiric session, which usually deal with the politics, as everybody knows, and he called them politically incorrect. So he was talking about odd things and embarrassing things. However, there are a number of the things that is politically incorrect, but there is truth in it, and also that become a tool for abuse by other group of people. And they call it democracy. But in fact, is past democracy, is demagoguery, is that bad part of the democracy. But that's not the issue of this conversation today. The issue of the conversation today is hijab. Hijab in a Muslim world. That nobody kind of feel free to talk about it, or everybody's reluctant to talk about it when it's come to the hijab, because it's a cultural issue, because it's a religious issue. Well, it is not cultural issue and it's not religious issue. 1500 years ago in the Muslim world, when Prophet Muhammad was talking about Islam, they were talking about hijab. But the hijab was for men and women. Was applying to the group of people that because of that condition of that day, not to put them down. Talking about 1500 years ago in Arabic world. People did not have proper coverage and clothing. They did not have proper manner as we understand it in the modern world. They did have rules. They did have their cultures, but that was belonged to 1500 years ago. As such, there are some rules that Prophet Muhammad rightfully issued. Ask to cover yourself, particularly ask to cover your sexual organs. Or if you go out, do not expose your legs for the women and men. But the intention was not to get a 50% of the population of each country, put them under veil, put them under all this, they call it burqa, and all things that they cover them from the vertex of the head to the toes. And this poor woman during summer and winter, they burn into the heat and then sweat to the point of exhaustion. That was not the intention of Prophet Muhammad. But now we cannot say anything. But even that is acceptable to me. And I'm not that important person. I'm just another human, another somewhere in another country talking about something. But that's acceptable. Fine. Nothing wrong with that. But if you ask that particular woman, then when the concept of the hijab comes, that's questionable. And that's when a stupidity of the political system comes and political incorrectness come to the picture, or correctness come to the picture. Because the intention of the issuer of the hijab orders was not what is today, that if you cover from top to the bottom, you are a better person. You go to heaven. You follow the God's order. And then whoever doesn't cover from top to the bottom, they're going to go to hell, and they are not good people. That's not it. That's why the political correctness and stupidity come. And then people pour into the street in the campus of the universities. They talk about this and talk about the right to make a decision. That's not a decision to make. That's not a right to make. That's a decision based on historic information. You have to go and learn about it. I just did a brief search and come up with two of the Quran verses that deals with the hijab. I have to read it because I want to keep the integrity of it. I don't want any mistake to be made. I don't want any mispronunciation, although I might, because this is a translation from Arabic and I can't speak Arabic, so I was kind of depend on the AI to do it for me. So I have two verses of Quran that deal with the hijab. So I'm going to read it verbatim according to the translation. And then we see how we can really figure this out and decide how we make a conversation by a woman who is covering herself for virtue. And then everybody else are bad people. So let's talk about this. All right, the first one that I kind of recited for you guys is Al-Nur, Surah Al-Nur, 24, 30, and 31. Probably the verse of 24, page of 30 or 31. Tell the believing men to reduce some of their vision and guard their private parts. This is purer for them. Indeed, Allah is well acquainted with what they do. And tell the believing woman to reduce some of their vision and guard their private parts and not expose their adornment except that which is necessary, appears therefore, and to wrap the portion of their head cover over their chest and not expose their adornment except to their husbands, their fathers, their husbands' fathers, their sons, their husbands' sons, their brothers' son, their sister's son, their woman that which their right hand possess, or some male attendants having no physical desire, or children who are not yet aware of private aspect of woman. The context of this verse is to instruct both men and women on modesty, emphasizing lowering the gaze and covering adornments, specifically directed women to draw their veils over their bosom. There is another one called Surah Al-Ahzab, 33, column 59. O Prophet, tell your wives and your daughters and the women of the believers to bring down over themselves part of their outer garments that is more suitable, that they will be known and not to be abused. And ever is Allah forgiving, the merciful. The context of this is this advises Muslim women to wear outer garments, jalabib or jalabiya, for recognition and protection from harm. These are the two that I found, and I asked AI to translate, so I read it to you. And it is very, in fact, 1500 years ago, from the point of view very scientifically written by Prophet Muhammad. Very exact, talking about adornments. Well, we understand that nobody in the beaches of Nice kept their adornment covered. But that's not the point. The point is nothing to do with covering from head to the bottom or from bottom to the head. It's not that they go to the heaven or the other people go to the hell. So, next time you're talking about anything politically correct or incorrect, if you are not aware of the knowledge, if you're not about the history, please go and read. I'm not talking about ordinary people. I'm talking people go to CNN and go to the Fox and ABCs. I'm talking about many people talk about these kind of things. So read about it, educate yourself, and then talk.